Hi, I'm Shannon Fable, and welcome to Gaiam's Strong Core and Back Workout. This foundationally restorative program features the therapy ball for building a strong core that will leave you walking taller and looking leaner. Your core muscles are your spine's main defense against gravity, and by adding the therapy ball to progressive exercises, you'll strengthen and stretch your core while building a strong foundation and functional flexibility. So grab your therapy ball and let's get started. Let's get started. We're going to be on the ground for the entire workout using the ball at the base of the spine to begin. So long ways, right at the base of the spine, feet about hip distance apart. And I want you to see if you can let go of the ball and keep it in place. If it starts to roll away from you, that's an immediate indicator that you need to suck in just a little bit more, sit up a little bit taller. That's going to form the core foundation of this workout. Hands right behind the thighs. We're just going to C-curve through the spine, press down the low back into the edge of the ball, and then sit back up. Good, so almost like you're taking a punch to the gut, pulling in, using the hands as much as you need to lean back, and then sitting up taller than when you began. We'll try 2 more with the hands here, and then we'll start to move the arms and change directions. Last one. Now I'm gonna take the hands away from the thighs. If you feel more comfortable with them here, keep them, all good. Hands reach out long. Let's do 2 in this position. Now you might notice a little bit in the hip flexor, but if you're really concentrating on pressuring into the ball, the hip flexors will move out of the equation. Come back and you're gonna rotate towards me. So we're in the C curve. Take both arms and reach towards the front. Come back to the center and sit up. We'll do the same thing to the back. So C curve, round, and then rotate. I'm gonna ask you to do this 2 more times and pay attention to the knees. When you rotate, they might try to go side to side with you. I want them straight ahead. So coming down and rotate. Can you go a little bit further and keep the knees straight up to the ceiling? Back to the center and lift. Last one here. I've got 1 more variation for you. Again, you can stop at any time and repeat the last version of the exercise. Leaning back, roll down. This time you rotate and let the elbow drop towards the floor. Once you're there, we're not resting there. Arms open up, center, and lift. Now you may notice your midsection starting to react. Shaking just a little bit, that's all good. All the muscles firing. Pull open, come back in, and lift tall. Lean back, it's a good shake. Elbow goes down, arm comes up, hands come back together, and lift. For a more traditional exercise, hands come behind the head, lean back. Now we had a C curve for the last couple of minutes. Now I want you to be straight. Sit up tall. Try it 1 more time, and then we're gonna go into an abdominal crunch. Just try 4. Elbows are out wide, chin off the chest, but you notice how this ball makes you activate so much right through the midsection. Now if you'd like, lift a knee as you curl. Opposite leg. 2 more. Eyes are focused up. Good. Sit yourself up. Take a quick break. Lean back. And now we do obliques. So coming to me first, you rotate. Same shoulder, same inner thigh, no more than that. Come back to the center and release. Other direction. Twist. 2 more. Good. You should really feel like you're wringing out a washcloth as you come up and twist. Now, if you'd like an added challenge, you'll add the knee. 3 more, and then I promise you'll get a break. Last 2. Good, sit yourself all the way up. Release the ball from the back, and we're gonna place it right between the knees and roll down to the floor. So whatever way makes you more comfortable, it can be long ways or lengthwise. Hands behind the thighs. Remember the C curve you practiced earlier? Let's do that again to come all the way down to the floor. Feet can scoot in just a little bit closer to the hips. And if you reach your fingers out, you should actually be able to graze your heels. Perfect placement. Palms down, added balance challenge, palms go up. Squeeze the knees on the ball and lift the hips. Hold there for a moment. Now usually when we go into this position, we end up clenching the tush to hold the bridge. And that puts all the work in the glutes. Since this is core focus, I want you to release the glutes, feel the inner thigh engagement, and turn this into a back extension exercise. And lower down. Come up. I won't make you hold it that long. Good, let's try 2 more. Then we'll go into a different challenge, make it a little harder than it is right now. But you should start to feel the inner thighs engage, pulling up into the core and the back. Now if you can, come up, squeeze the knees, and we're gonna try to lift the front leg so the knee stays side by side. Knee comes in and lower down. Let's try it with the back leg. You could repeat this as many times as you like, but I wanna show you one more option. Come down, lift the leg while you're on the floor, and then try to bridge with just one leg. Perfect. And try that on the other side. Leg comes up, squeeze first, engage, and lift. And come down. Let's go into a different version of the bridge. Ball comes right underneath the hips, and it's gonna go lengthwise. So slide it right under the base of the tailbone, but the end of the ball should be sticking out just a smidge that way. So you're gonna do the same bridge you did a moment ago, and the ball will actually leave the back slightly. Now using that as a marker, I want you to try to tilt the hip, and the ball should rotate away from you. Come back to the center, you can relax for a minute. Push back up, so it's supporting the bridge, and then we drop the hip. So pelvis mobility, really important in core work. Let's try it a few more times to each direction. And as you hone in on this exercise, I want you to think about the knees. Keep them straight ahead, just like we practiced with the core rotation, because they're gonna wanna drop from side to side. 2 more each way. Let's speed it up and try to link the right and the left together. Center and go left. Try one more, lift up, rotate, and if you change which way you go first, it's all good. Drop the hips back down. Go right back into one more bridge, and we're gonna flip the ball right under the hips. Now it's lengthwise. It's gonna be a bigger balance challenge to hold this position. Knees come up into tabletop. And if this is where you end and you just hang out here for a moment, perfect. You wanna take it to the heel drops, which is where we're headed next. Arms come out to the side, palms can be down or up for an added balance challenge. You're in tabletop, shins parallel to the ceiling, and begin by dropping the heel to the floor and then pulling it back up. Now I love doing this with the ball under the hips. It actually feels a lot better than it does on the floor. With the added balance component, the core fires straight away, takes this exercise out of the hip flexors. You should really notice it in those lower abdominal region. Let's try 2 more on each side. And you could even try one arm up or both arms up. See if that makes it any harder. Moving on. So you could continue to do the heel drops. I'm gonna put my hands back down and lengthen out the leg. So if you've ever done the bicycle exercise on the floor, that's what it looks like, right? Reaching the toe long. The lever doesn't have to be this long. It can be a slight bend in the knee, and it certainly doesn't have to come down all the way parallel to the floor. You decide. Wherever you feel a little tension on the abdominal wall, that's where you wanna stop. Now what if we took the arms out of this? That makes it harder. And then the final challenge would be opposite arm leg lift. So arm reaches back, it can touch the floor, depends on your shoulder range of motion. Hold and bring that arm forward. Can we switch it? Might not be pretty, you might wobble all over the place, and that is good, means the core is working. Let's try 3 more in each direction. 3, 2, as slow as you can. The slower you work in core work, the better. Last one here. Well-deserved stretch coming up. Ball stays in place. Pull both knees into the chest and let the ball roll as you pull the knees down towards you. Feels good, right? Let's try it one more time. Lift the hips up. You can drop the knees for one last balance move. Pull the knees up and then let it pull in. Feel the release all along the backside. Beautiful. Feet come down, ball comes out. Lift the hips first to let the ball escape. And the ball's gonna go right back between the knees. Come into tabletop, arms out to the side, and drop your knees to me. Supine spine twist. Now the secret here for getting the spine stretch is to keep the opposite shoulder down on the ground. The legs may not come all the way to the floor, and that's okay. Lift the legs up. This is an oblique exercise to lift. And then we go back into the spine stretch the opposite direction. Really reach the knees away from the opposite shoulder and opposite hand. spinal ability is equally important in your core work as the strengthening moves we've been doing. Let's do one more each way. Pull up, drop the opposite side, and lift. Last one. So we're gonna be rock and rolling to a seated position. If that doesn't make you happy, just join us seated in a moment. So from here, hands can come behind the thighs, tuck the chin into the chest, and I want you to channel your core. Let that be what helps you rock and roll up. Give yourself a few rocks to sit. One more time. Feet come down to the floor. Sit cross-legged. Reach the ball out in front of you. Squeeze the ends of the ball, pull the shoulder blades back, and lift up overhead. Shoulders stay away from the ears. Pressure into the top hand as you lean over, and think about rooting the opposite hip to the ground. Lift up, switch sides. Again, really use the ball to push the opposite hand down and create length from one side to the opposite hip. Perfect. Let's twist to the right. Again, hips being grounded. That's gonna create that spinal twist, which helps to oxygenate the discs, keep them healthy for a long time. One more twist. Come to the center, pull the ball down in front of the chest, comes to the ground, walk your hands out, tuck the chin in, one final stretch. And roll up. You did it. Just a few twists on some traditional core exercises. You should be feeling it all over. Well done.